Well, thousands of police across the country will be wearing pink today to take a stand against bullying. With more on that, we're joined from downtown Vancouver by our Morning News reporter, Tanya Beja. Tanya?
Good morning, Steve. Well, it's not just the police. We've seen some firefighters down here this morning waving their pink flags. There are dozens of students here right now handing out pink buttons and selling pink T-shirts. All of the proceeds, of course, go to the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Vancouver, and they're putting that money towards raising students that won't support bullying. Of course, that's what this is all about. Joining me now to speak more about this is Michael Campbell. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning.
So this isn't a problem just among students.
Well, I think one of the things we also want to really remember is that about 37% of people say they've been bullied in the workplace. I mean, this is an attitudinal thing about how we treat our fellow citizens. Do we treat each other with respect? You know, it's really distressing to hear the stories about people who've been singled out because they have an accent, because they look different, or maybe have a different lifestyle. I mean, it goes across the board. And the number of issues, we were talking earlier about people with intellectual disabilities. I mean, this carries through not just in school, but carries right through society. And as I say, a huge percentage of people in the workplace feel bullied.
And what is the impact of that?
Well, again, I mean, think of the drama. I mean, things like this. We can find a huge correlation between incidents of drug and alcohol abuse with people who had been bullied earlier. Obviously, we get to the extreme and the tragedies of suicide, which unfortunately, boy, you want to find out, the stories just seem to be becoming fast and furious over the last several months. One high school in Ohio, for example, had 3 suicides, you know, in the last couple of months. And again, different reasons. One student was gay, one student had an intellectual disability, one student was just simply because she was from Slovakia. I mean, in other words, looked different and spoke differently. I mean, these are the kind of things I think most of us would say, hey, no, that doesn't meet any kind of societal standard. We've got to stop that. And that's what the Boys and Girls Clubs are, by the way, doing with the programs to directly, you know, try and create, you know, good citizens, leadership skills, those kind of things.
So obviously they're raising money, they're selling these T-shirts, selling these buttons, but when it all comes down to it, how do you stop bullying?
I think that's a great question, because, you know, when it all comes down to it, is simply our attitudes. It's simply, and we've made progress in many areas. I mean, you think of, much more to do, but we've made progress in gender issues, as an example. It's no longer good enough to discriminate in some areas. That's the kind of thing that starts with an attitude. That's why everyone can participate. We're not saying, you know, we've got lots of people out here in the streets today, and as you say, London Drugs is selling pink shirts, that kind of thing. No, it really starts at home with an attitude. What standard, I mean, do we respect each other? Can we respect differences? So that's, I think, why this could be so powerful. Every major positive shift in society starts with an attitude change.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Michael. It's been great having you here.
My pleasure, Tanya. Thank you.
And Steve and Sophie, there's still another half an hour down here for anybody who's passing by. We're at the corner of Georgia and Granville. They're selling these buttons for $2, also selling T-shirts. You can come by and pick one up, help put an end to bullying. Back to you guys.
All right, Tanya, thanks very much for that.